Welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. It's always good to have you here. If you love deep dives into celebrity moments and the truth behind all those whispers, make sure you subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a new upload. Today's story is nothing short of jaw-dropping. One single photograph has rewritten everything we thought we knew about Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu. There were weeks of murmurs, emotional remarks, and subtle hints from both sides, but no one could have braced for what landed online. The entertainment world ignited when a photo of Barış and Elçin kissing leaked onto the internet. And no, it wasn't a scene from a series or a staged publicity move. According to people with direct knowledge, it happened at a private event, away from cameras and reporters, tucked in a corner where the noise washed over them but couldn't touch the quiet they found together. In that small sanctuary, they made a choice that shocked millions. Witnesses who glimpsed the minutes before the kiss described a long, unwavering look between them, the kind of eye contact that says everything without a single word. They leaned in close, voices low, almost tender, and the air around them seemed to disappear. What happened didn't look rehearsed, and it didn't feel like a strategy. It carried weight, history, and the bittersweet ache of time. The kiss came across as inevitable, as if everything that had come before had been steering them to that exact second. Fans who have followed their journey since those unforgettable Karalık-ass days felt as though the picture was confirmation they'd been waiting for. We all remember when Barış said he could never fully let go of the woman who mattered most to him. We remember when Elçin hinted she couldn't picture committing to anyone else unless destiny placed the right person back in her path. Back then, people chalked those answers up to polished interview talk. Now they read like breadcrumbs from a reunion that had been quietly unfolding out of sight. The photo exploded the moment it hit the feed. It was shared, reposted, debated, and dissected. People analyzed the angle, stayed on their facial expressions, scrutinized their hands, their posture, the closeness of their bodies, the story their eyes told. Within minutes, it became a global trend. From Europe to Latin America to the Middle East, fans jumped into the conversation, calling it the comeback of the year, a love story given a second act. But sources insist that this wasn't a lightning bolt arriving out of an empty sky. We're hearing that Barış and Elçin have been quietly reconnecting for months. They've chosen private spaces, carefully guarded times, and conversation after conversation that reopened old doors. Friends close to them believe that what happened wasn't an accident or a slip. It was a decision. A quiet, steady decision that said their connection had never really dissolved. It had just retreated behind a curtain while real life pressed on. That single image changed how the public sees them. Gone are the days of vague captions and cryptic posts. Gone are the rumors that danced around their names without ever daring to settle. Now the narrative is sharp and clear, something real is happening again. Something that calls back to those early days when their chemistry on set wouldn't stay contained by the camera frame. If you were there, if you felt that spark through your screen, you know exactly what I mean. Let's talk about where it happened. The event was crowded, noisy, one of those industry nights where the music and conversation never stop. But in a quiet corner, they found something like shelter. People in the room noticed the way they gravitated toward each other. They weren't hiding, but they weren't performing either. They were simply in their own orbit, both acutely aware of the world around them and somehow utterly apart from it. There's a detail from someone who claims to have stood just a few steps away. They say Barış reached for her hand first, fingers tracing her wrist for a split second, as though asking a question without asking it. Elçin looked up, met his gaze, and everything else, the clinking glasses, the laughter, the cameras waiting at the door, faded into background noise. When they finally kissed, it looked like something that had always been coming, like a moment they had saved for themselves, finally unwrapped. Of course, the internet did what the internet does. Some said it had to be a publicity trick. But insiders pushed back, saying there were no official photographers nearby, no publicists orchestrating a scene. This wasn't designed. In fact, if you look closely at the image, you can see the spontaneity of it. It's slightly off-center, a little grainy, rushed. Someone caught a fraction of a moment and, without knowing, unleashed a tidal wave. For longtime followers, the emotional punch is real. Their supporters remember interviews where he spoke about commitment with the calm certainty of someone who means every word, and where she talked about connection as something rare, worth protecting, and never to be faked. Those comments felt charming at the time, now they feel prophetic. The difference between then and now is the certainty of what we're seeing. It's not theory. It's not a headline you can scroll past. It's the image that says everything. People close to Barış and Elçin described their recent months as healing. Not glittering red carpets, not rehearsed poses, but honest, sometimes uncomfortable, conversations. Mending isn't glamorous. It's messy, and it takes time. The rumor is that they both made space for that process, stepping back from noise so they could actually hear each other. The kiss, then, wasn't a burst of impulse. It was the visible sign of a decision made quietly and carefully, like a promise whispered in a room only two people can enter. Overnight, media outlets raced to catch up. Magazine covers appeared with headlines that read like Destiny's victory lap, declaring, in essence, the reunion everyone was waiting for. Comment sections became confessionals. People shared where they were when they first watched them together years ago, how that on-screen electricity felt like something alive. Others recalled specific scenes from Karaoke Ask, moments where a glance or a laugh seemed to carry more than scripted lines could hold. That's the power of a connection that refuses to dim, it won't be confined to a screen. And now, the questions. What comes next? Will they appear together at an event, hand in hand, no longer dodging speculation? Will there be a statement, a caption that finally names what everyone already knows? Or is this just the first of many quiet moments destined to slip into public view? Entertainment commentators are already predicting an engagement down the line. That talk got louder after both of them, in different conversations over recent months, spoke openly about commitment, about building something that can stand the pressure of a spotlight and the passage of time. Let's not overlook how carefully this all appears to be unfolding. There are reports that, before the photo, they'd met in spaces where trust can grow. A friend's living room, restaurants that know how to draw the curtain, long walks that end with laughter. None of this has the sheen of a rollout. It has the unhurried pace of something real. They were never in a race with anyone. If anything, they were deliberately moving at the speed of truth. Fans are reading every sign. A playlist added quietly. A line in an interview that lands differently now. A look at a premiere that, in hindsight, was not polite but tender. Each piece becomes part of a puzzle that finally shows a whole picture. The picture, of course, is that instant that took over the internet. But the story stretches far beyond a single frame. It stretches back to their first connection and forward into a future no one can fully predict, no matter how confident the headlines sound. If you've been watching them as long as we have, you know the rhythm of their presence together. There's the calm in Barış's demeanor, the grounded way he moves through a room, the quiet steadiness in his voice. There's the luminous ease in Elçin's smile, the spark in her eyes, the warmth she carries even when the cameras are relentless. Put them together, and you have a magnetic field that doesn't ask permission, it just exists, and you feel it. The morning after the photo surfaced, they didn't rush to deny it. They didn't scramble to put the moment back in a box. Instead, silence became its own kind of statement. Sometimes silence means hiding. Sometimes it means protection. This felt like the latter. When something is precious, you hold it close for a while. You let it breathe. Make no mistake, this changes the entire conversation. We've moved beyond ambiguity and speculation into a place where the heart of the matter is visible. Maybe this was always inevitable. Maybe the world was just waiting for the proof. Either way, the energy has shifted. The story that began in fictional scripts and blossomed into a cultural memory now seems to be blooming again, this time unbound by credits or call times. So what should we expect? A joint red carpet appearance that seals it publicly? A shared project that lets them turn their renewed chemistry into art again? Or an understated acknowledgement, one photo, one caption, one line, that says, "We're here, and that's enough for now." Whatever comes, one truth seems undeniable: this isn't a fling. Not the way insiders tell it. Not the way the moment looked. It felt like a page turned, not a page torn. Global outlets are lining up features, editorials, and retrospectives. Photographers are on alert for the next sign. On social media, fans are tallying memories and hopes with equal intensity. They're ready for the next chapter, eager to see if the people who made them believe in love on screen will now let them witness a version of it beyond the frame. It's still astonishing that what began in the quiet pocket of a crowded gathering has become one of the biggest stories of the year. But that's how these things happen. Love finds a corner, and then the world finds love. The angle of a camera and the beat of a heart meet for a split second, and everything changes. We're watching the shift in real time, and it feels like the start of a new era. Tell us, did you see this coming? Did you feel this undercurrent and just wait for the moment it would break the surface? Do you think this marks the true beginning of a new chapter for them, one that might lead to vows, a shared home, or simply a steady, unhurried bond that belongs to them before it belongs to anyone else? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this in-depth look, like the video and subscribe for more exclusive updates from Secrets Behind the Stars. Your support helps us bring you the stories that matter, the ones that pull back the curtain on the most fascinating hearts in entertainment. Stay tuned, because this love story is only just beginning, and the next heartbeat could change everything again.